Hey y'all, I am going to be painting the cover of my Bible. As you can see, it's really dirty and kind of gross looking. I wanted to keep this Bible because it has all my notes in it. So I figured this would be the best way to keep my Bible, spruce it up a little bit. First thing first, we have to figure out how to get rid of this indentions, because you can see the Holy Bible and the fruit of the Spirit and all the lemons and stuff are engraved into the Bible, and we can't have that. So I'm going to be using some acrylic gesso on here. However, since gesso is so thick, I started out with a palette knife and then tried to move to a brush, and I was having a lot of trouble at this point because of how thick it was. The brushes weren't really putting it on evenly because we didn't want like a really thick thing to where it would peel off. So I did add some water, and that is why I'm switching through so many different brushes in this clip. Now, if you watch careful right here, you'll see where I made my first mistake. You see where I rubbed that brush right in the crease right there? That was a mistake because since my Bible is open here, the surface area in the crease is smaller than it would be whenever I closed it up. And since I am using acrylic paint, it does not really stretch, so there was a lot of cracking. So if you decide to do this, avoid that mistake. Do not paint the creases in between the cover part and the binding. Wait till you have the solid background and your Bible is closed, not open, and then paint those cracks so that you don't get the cracking effect that I got. And here we switch to one of the hardest parts, is getting this little bitty canvas part in between the paper and the edge. This is so tedious and difficult, especially when you're trying to video it and use one hand on your paintbrush like I was. I love the way that it turned out having this edge painted, but it was very tedious. So make sure whenever you decide to do this part, you have plenty of time to spend, as well as some patience. At this point, I was like really nervous. I was like, is this paint even going to stick? And did I just ruin my Bible? I was like terrified to do this. But it was turning out pretty great so far. This is my base white layer. It was looking really nice, and I was low-key proud of myself, you know. But the words and lemons that we saw previously on the Bible were kind of poking through, so that was making me really nervous. I could see it with my eyes, but I couldn't really feel it. So I decided that I didn't need any more gesso and went straight onto the white paint, and I did about 3 layers of this white paint on the Bible. Now this is the end of part 1. Thank you all so very much for watching. Follow or subscribe for the rest of the video. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Bye!